This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. The most outstanding quality derived from the novel Sense and Sensibility is the author's deep penetrating character analysis. Jane Austen, the author, articulates all aspects of human characters in each chapter of the book: strengths, weaknesses, desires, and limitations. She often makes larger points about society through the descriptions of her characters. The novel, as most evident in its title, also intends to show a comparison between the personalities of the major characters, who are sisters. Elinor, the eldest sister, underscores the sense and sensibility of the title, while her younger sister, Marianne, personifies the lack of sense and sensibility in her utter lack of emotional control. Through them, the author brings out the theme of sense and sensibility by differentiating their traits in their relation to the rest of the characters. This paper explores the theme of sense and sensibility, and the lack of it, in detail, and shows how each of the characters stands out in relation to the theme. The author uses sense and sensibility to navigate through the characters and bring out their main attributes. The theme: sense and sensibility. The theme of sense and sensibility comes out as the difference in character between the two sisters, Elinor and Marianne. Their personalities and interactions with their neighbors draw attention to the reader, as they differ immensely right from the onset of the story. In some instances, the author intentionally exposes them to similar situations to show the reader how each of them would react and whether they would be sensible or let their emotions determine their decision-making ability. Character difference. Austen uses Elinor to play the sensible role in the novel. Austen's opinion of the rest of her characters nearly co-occurs with that of Elinor. She is socially responsible, self-disciplined, and reasonable. Moreover, she possesses understanding and the coolness of judgment, qualities that draw admiration from Edward Ferrars. By choosing not to tell her sister the whole truth about Willoughby's confession, Elinor exemplifies sense. At the tender age of 19, she is surprisingly mature for her age. She even offers counsel to her mother. She is concerned about her sister's lack of sense and even suspects Willoughby's intentions with her. She defends Colonel Brandon to her sister, Marianne, and Willoughby when they begin to prejudice and mock him. She is distressed when Willoughby remarks that the colonel strikes him as boring and unremarkable when, to her, he is sensible and well-informed. She points out that "my protégé, as you call him, is a sensible man, and sense will always have attractions for me." By this statement, she openly shows how much she values and admires sense. Moreover, Elinor appreciates Colonel Brandon's nobility and reserve, qualities that Willoughby is not able to see due to his dislike for him. Willoughby openly shows his hatred towards the colonel by telling Elinor that she cannot deny him the privilege of disliking him. This shows how Austen characterizes Willoughby as excessively sensible. Marianne, on the contrary, is excessively emotional and openly pessimistic. She has neither sense nor sensibility. She is selfish, unrealistic, and emotionally weak. She even confesses to her mother that she does not see herself finding a man whom she can really love. Marianne confides to her mother that she does not understand why Edward has not come to visit them of late. She even, in her lack of sense, notes that she is sure that Edward is not well. Marianne's own preference for Willoughby over the colonel and its disastrous consequences reveal how excessive sensibility and appearance could cloud a person's judgment of human character. She shows her emotional weakness, which underscores her lack of sense and sensibility when she cannot eat or sleep after Willoughby leaves. She is very disturbed and even falls ill when Willoughby chooses to marry another woman, actions that make her and those around her as miserable as possible. Therefore, through Marianne's inability to use common sense when situations demand it, Austen manages to highlight the theme of lack of sense and sensibility in this masterpiece. Austen illustrates her view of the superiority of rationality, sensibility, and self-control over emotions. Though Marianne has fallen for John Willoughby, she grows to love the Colonel, a sensible man. Elinor refrains from judging other characters based on appearances alone and constantly seems to be the one who has the utmost reasoning and understanding in character judgment. The book serves to inform the reader of the importance of getting to know a person before being prejudicial or judgmental. The fact that Elinor is portrayed as strong does not necessarily mean that she does not have any feelings, but it goes to show how much self-control she had by not allowing them to get the best of her. The author shows her value for sense over sensibility by choosing to give Elinor the happy conclusion she deserves when she eventually marries Edward. On the other hand, Marianne whines throughout the story, even though she changes towards the end, to show how a lack of sense and sensibility can affect an otherwise reasonable person. Tone and satire. Austen has used satire in the book to capture the reader's attention and provide a different form of humor. Her satiric voice and her understanding of human nature are evident, particularly when she comments on the role of Lady Middleton's son. She sees him as a center of attention between the Dashwoods and the Middletons and brings him along so that, in case they run out of things to say, they would admire his beauty and inquire of his name and age, questions which his mother would answer for him. The tone in the novel is sad. The death of Mr. Dashwood's sister leaves him distraught and forces him to invite Henry and his family to stay with him. Marianne ends up being heartbroken by Willoughby's marriage to Miss Sophia Grey, while Mrs. Ferrars decides to disinherit her eldest son, Edward, leaving him in serious financial difficulties. Miss Ferrars disowns her son for his intention to marry Lucy Steele, whom she considers to have low social and financial standing. Elinor learns that she has been misinformed and duped all along about Edward's persuasions after Lucy Steele admits that she is betrothed to Edward. Elinor becomes extremely heartbroken at the publication of Lucy's engagement and becomes wounded when she mistakenly believes that Edward has wed. Conclusion. In conclusion, Austen uses the story Sense and Sensibility to highlight the importance of the same virtues. Elinor's good sense makes Marianne change her life and become reasonable. Marianne uses emotions and misplaced passions to make decisions, and that is why she spends a long time complaining about everything around her. Austen, therefore, uses Marianne and Elinor to explore the theme of sense and sensibility and their lack thereof. She also uses satire to spice up the story, even though she adopts a sad note by including death, hurt, and heartbreak in the story. As the story concludes, it is evident that sense and sensibility outweigh the lack of the same. Did you like this, The Theme of Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen's sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the free database of academic paper examples at ivypanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs, without even having to register.